Whew, I am back from Retro World Expo, and wow, what a trip. It was wild, it was awesome, it was great. I was a guest there this year for 2023, and it was a lot of fun. It was good to see. I saw a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and some unfamiliar faces that I never met in person, so it was cool. Overall, a very fun experience. It usually is. Retro World Expo is my favorite convention to go to each year. One, because it's very close to me, and two, because I know a lot of the people there, so it's like you see a bunch of people that you already know, and it's just like a good vibe. So it kind of stinks because I got to drive home instead of just like going up to the hotel every year, but yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. Did the panel. The panel was on the lost appreciation for Classicvania games. So that'll be up on Patreon as an exclusive at some point in time. So if you were not able to attend, you can check it out, sign up for the Patreon. Any membership above $1 gets it. So cool. Anyways, so I wanted to make this video because I wanted to showcase some of the cool stuff that I got. I did not spend as much as I thought I would, which is weird because I came with lots more money than I usually do. What ends up usually happening is I spend way too much and then I regret it later. But this time, because I was at my booth a lot of the time, I wasn't shopping as much. So, yeah, you just want to be in the spotlight, huh? Yeah, she does. So I wasn't spending as much time shopping, so because of that, I was able to kind of not spend as much money as I wanted to, which is good, but I figured I'd take some time to show you what I got. So I'm going to do this kind of like in a chronological order in terms of like the story of how I got everything, when I got everything. So first is this Dirge of Cerberus guide. I did not own this guide. I do own the game. Yeah, I don't know why, but I try to collect any Final Fantasy game that I have. I try to collect a guide for it. So that was given to me for $5 by my good friend Dan. So shout out to Dan. Then afterwards, I ran into my other buddy who hooked me up with not one but two NES games. Pete Scarrett. So shout out to Pete. He hooked me up with Pinball Quest and Thunderbirds, which has a really good soundtrack, actually. It's a neat little shooter. So I've been wanting both of these games for a really long time, and he hooked me up with the deal. I think he said 20 or 25, I can't remember which. But yeah, so two more games to add to my NES collection. I'm going to be honest, I don't really add that much to my NES collection these days, so it's really cool to find games that I'm like, ooh, I'm excited by that. Let me try it, because NES is one of my favorites. All right, so at that point, I was pretty much done. I was like, you know what? I'm done for now. I'm going to go and do some hanging at the booth. Saw a couple people stop by, and after a little while, I was like, you know what? I got the itch. I want to go shop. Because at that point, people were just coming up to me, selling me the stuff that, I worked out deals for ahead of time. So I first found a booth that had this Duke Nukem Forever comic book. I think this is a pre-order bonus or maybe something that came with the collector's edition, but it was just too ridiculous to not. I mean, just look at this. This is ridiculous. So I was just like, sure, why the heck not? Duke Nukem, it was $2. And I can't remember what I combined it with, but I bought something else with it. I'm pretty sure it was a magazine, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but I just don't remember, so I'm just not going to. I'm going to move on. After that, I ended up stopping by my buddy Rewind Arcade's booth, and he's formerly Crispy Crisps, if you know his stuff on YouTube. It was so great to meet him finally in person, and just he hooked me up with this. I think 20. I'm pretty sure I bought this off him for 20. This is X. This is the Game Boy game that's kind of like the predecessor to Star Fox. And I had been wanting this one for a while. He sells all like import stuff. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I gotta grab this, because I've never really played it like personally, like off the cart itself. And I mean, import Game Boy, you can't beat that. So my daughter and I have been playing Switch on and off. We play daily Dadish, as well as like all the Dadish games, which if you're looking for a fun little platformer to play with your kids, Dadish is awesome. Tons of dad jokes and really funny, goofy, very wild humor that's safe for kids. The whole thing is great. Like, we have played all 3 Dadishes. Almost, we're not quite done with the third one, but the first 2 we've beaten. The first one we've 100%ed. So, yeah, I cannot recommend those games enough. If you have kids, please go get Dadish. It's highly recommended. Very cute artwork and everything, and it basically plays like a Mario Super Meat Boy kind of style platformer in that sense, especially Daily Dadish. Daily Dadish, more than anything, plays like a Super Meat Boy kind of clone, because you have to go really fast to get the star, and if you get the star, you get up to 10 stars and you can unlock a costume. So we've been loving these games on the Switch. But in addition to that, we also started playing Side Pocket on the Super NES, and the on Nintendo Online thing, and she really likes it. She really likes pool. She thinks it's fun. So I figured I'd pick up the Side Pocket on the Genesis. I don't think I paid 10 for it. I think I paid 8, or I don't know, 7 maybe. I can't remember. This might have actually been the game that I paired with Duke Nukem Forever, but that's a pretty good deal for a Genesis game. It's in really good condition. The game even comes with an epilepsy warning thing, which I thought was pretty funny, but the manual's nice and crisp. The game looks like nobody's ever played it. I mean, it looks mint. So I'm very excited to show her this one. In my opinion, this has the superior soundtrack. I can't remember the composer. I think it's like Emi Suzuki or something. I can't remember, but it's a really, really good soundtrack. In my opinion, way better than the Super NES. I had been looking up games to find on Game Boy Color because I'm a big fan of handheld games, and one of the games that I came across during my research was Atlantis, The Lost Empire. This one, I've seen countless times at game conventions. I've seen it everywhere, and it usually goes for a really cheap price. This one was selling for $9. I managed to talk them down to $5 for this, so I'm okay with that, because yeah, I did not want to pay more than $5 for this, but it's actually, from what I understand, it's a pretty good game. So, and it's a licensed game, which means it's probably not going to come out anywhere else. So glad to grab this one when I could. All right, that takes us into a kind of segue into magazines. So I grabbed 3 issues of Nintendo Power that I didn't already own. One is this Doom 64 cover. I mostly bought it because it had Castlevania news. This is issue 96. And this was Hybrid Heaven. This was issue 123. I think these all have posters in them. This one was super nostalgic for me. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Not necessarily the game itself, but this issue. I remember getting 2 copies of this issue when I renewed my subscription, and I just, for whatever reason, this one really stuck with me, and it was one of the issues that when I sold my original lot of Nintendo Power magazines, this was the one that I was like, one of the ones I was like, man, I shouldn't have sold this. What's really cool is it's got this sick Metroid poster in it, so really glad that I was able to grab that. And so this one I got for $10, which is a great deal with that poster. This one I got for $5. It's got some, this one I got for $8. And this one I got for $5 because there's some damage on the front. So all in all, I'm very happy to add these to my Nintendo Power library. I'm kind of like casually collecting Nintendo Powers. If I see them and they're under $10, I'll go for it. But 10 and under, like, that's kind of my limit. I can't justify spending that much on Nintendo Powers. I try to always support the artists in some way, shape, or form. Like, I don't just do games. I try to find some sort of art. And one of the artists that I picked out was this woman, Antoinette, that I know. She does art. It's kind of somewhat local to me. And she had a miserable pile of, which I thought was pretty cool. And this one's great. This is Star Fox Coffee. Really cool. So I'm going to add that to my laptop. Put it on because I got a brand new laptop. So I'm going to put that on there. There was this Daisy sticker. This Princess Daisy sticker with Daisy going like this. And I cannot remember for the life of me where I got the sticker, but I could have sworn it was Retro World Expo. cannot find the vendor who I bought it off of. So kind of a bummer, but oh well. Moving on, this was really neat. This was probably one of my favorite purchases here. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those Loot Crate items, but it's the Castlevania Dragon Skull Cannon Tiki Muglet set. And I paid full price for it, 15 bucks. You may think, you know what, this is probably not worth 15 bucks, and you might be honestly right about that. But these were just too cool. I had to get them. So they're the dragon bone skeletons, the dragon skulls. And I got two. There's one red, one purple. These are just too cool. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. So I have the pre-order figure for Simon Belmont. I'm probably going to stack these next to him, you know, in my little Castlevania shrine over there. So I think it's pretty cool. I like it. I dig it. All right, so that brings me to the end of the first day. Just kidding. The best thing that I got, probably of this whole trip in my opinion, is, at least in terms of just like everything, the best deal I got was probably for this right here. Yeah. Super hot. Super sexy. Tomb Raider Lara Croft. This is the Playmates original like diorama figure. She looks great. It's awesome. Classic Lara. There is a split in the plastic that you can barely see. But overall, I thought that this was very much worth the price that I paid. These go regularly online for about like $90 to $80, and I managed to talk them down to $50. So I'm really happy about that price because it's such a cool looking figure. It's going to go up over by my Lara collection. I've got a collection of stuff with for Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, so yeah. But that does actually take us to the end of the first day. The second day started off, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really get that much the second day. It was a shorter day, and I didn't do as much shopping. I mostly stuck around my table and just hung out, talked to people, talked to a lot of people actually. Sold a little merch, which was pretty cool. Thank you for those who bought merch. One of the people that bought merch was actually a buddy of mine, Jordan, and he hooked me up with Metroid on the Famicom Disk System. So got it to me for only 10 bucks, which is great. I do need to find like a plastic case for this, but really cool. I'm happy to finally own this one. I want to play it just to see what the differences are in terms of the soundtrack, because I believe the soundtrack has some slight differences. As I was walking around, I had to go to the bathroom and get some lunch, and as I was walking around, I went to this booth that like was really far out, that was not anywhere near the other booths, over by like the food area. And as I was walking around, I saw a bunch of Famicom Disk System games. And I'm like, whoa, I'm like, you never really see Famicom Disk System games. I mean, truth be told, this was the only one that I had seen up until that point. And, you know, it was my buddy that brought it to me. So I'm like, you know what, let me go and do a little digging on some of these games, because they were games I'd never heard of before. One of the games, I'm sorry, I'm going to read off my phone because I cannot pronounce the name, is Mekyu Jin Dababa. This is a pretty unique Konami Famicom Disk System game, and I got it complete. So it has the manual and everything. It's got the game itself. It's pretty cool. Whoop. So it even comes with some kind of crazy card. Looks like, ooh, oh, okay. Here, a little trading card. That's pretty neat. So I think it's pretty neat. I looked up some info on the game, and it looks really cool. I really like these cards. I bet there's probably a card for, because Konami, I guess, included those little cards with it. But yeah, I have not tried this one out yet, but it kind of looks like Star Tropics a little bit, and the soundtrack is pretty good too. So I'm excited to play this one. It was only 20 bucks, which is a good deal. All right, my last purchase is one that I'm very happy about, and that is Russian Attack. Now, I did not pay $35, which is the sticker price on here. I paid $25, and I got just the box and manual. The guy was cool with splitting it. It was the last day, and it was pretty late in the day. Because I already own the game, so here, I have it loose already. So he hooked me up with it. Now, the games box does not have, It's not great shape. Like, it's kind of busted. It's got a dented corner here. It's got some rough, you know, it's ripped on that corner, on that edge. Actually, it doesn't look like it's ripped. It looks like part of it's ripped, but there's a sticker covering the majority of it, so I could probably get that off. And then there's like old sticker residue here that I might be able to get off possibly. So here we have a $4.99 sticker for sale. I'm going to go ahead and complete this one. So, oh, this one actually has a insert already in it. So bada bing, bada boom. Another completed game for my NES library. Awesome. Super stoked to complete this one. You know, I've seen like complete inbox copies forever, and you know, they're going for so much for this game, which is a pretty common game. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed that that I didn't get. There's some other people there at the. I wanted to get the box for Xena Warrior Princess for the N64, and they would just not budge on splitting it. So I have the game, have the manual, just need the box. Can't find the box anywhere. So if you have a box for Xena Warrior Princess on the N64, let me know. Anyways, that's it. Did you go to Retro World Expo? If not, would you like to go to Retro World Expo? Let me know down in the comments below what you think of my pickups. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned. Again, go to the Patreon to sign up so that way you can be there for when I drop the panel, because I thought the panel came out really well. A lot of cool chatter between people, so take care.